Hello and welcome to the Burning Hammer podcast. My name is Joe.
I'm Dave.
And we are going to talk SummerSlam 2024, which was on Saturday. One thing I really like, they've started doing them on Saturday again, which is really cool. I like them being on Saturday. Means I can sleep on Sunday.
Yeah, do you know I sent you that clip of that bar going off that's over the road from my house?
The bar and grill thing.
Reminded me, that actually reminded me that it was on because I heard all the chants coming from outside. I thought, SummerSlam's on. I'm still not used to it being a wrestling fan for as long as I've been. I'm still not used to it being a Saturday.
Yeah.
But I do. You're right. I do much prefer it.
No, it just makes more sense. I mean, even America, like, it's the Sunday and travel's different depending on what state you're in and stuff like that. I'm sure it's like, it makes it a lot easier being a Saturday, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
What did you think of the show as a whole?
Good and bad. There's some matches I loved, matches that didn't care about at all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Personally. But a great venue for it, a good big crowd for it. Was it 54,000 sort of around that?
Yeah.
Which is a great SummerSlam amount. I think they could do more if they brought it over here again and did Wembley Stadium would be cool.
See, I think that's what they should. I think the SummerSlam, because it's a summer event, that's the one they should tour. Because there's every chance they could bring Mania here and piddle down for 2 days. Do you know what I mean? So I if they're gonna tour one of their big PLEs, we'll make that SummerSlam, put it in Australia one year, put it in England, put it in Germany. Do you know what I mean? All the places that they're going to for PLEs as well. The weird name for pay-per-views.
Yeah, that's a new thing, isn't it? Because they're not technically pay-per-views anymore. I think that's why you premium live events, you can only get them on certain but there is still pay-per-view in certain places. On Discovery Plus it's £20 to watch it if you want to watch it on that, or you get the network for £10 a month. It still doesn't make sense.
I've just got the network.
Yeah. No, and I'm glad we still have that in the UK and EU and stuff, because over there it's Peacock, isn't it? You don't get access to everything.
Well, when it goes to Netflix, it's going to be a bit more.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I think it will be interesting. I think it'll be a nice, a nice way to circumnavigate some of the things that they want to be able to do, but they can't because they're on. They're on normal cable.
It did when Pat McAfee the other day called Braun a brick shit house, and they had to like bleep it out and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, stuff like that. Although he did call a certain person a piece of shit, which we'll get onto, because that was the first match, was Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. This is one I don't care about. I think we're past this era of caring about relationships that we know are fake. When on all pub, we know that they're married to other people, and
I think I disagree. The only thing I don't like about it is it was so predictable, and I think because it was so predictable that it was a bit boring. It was a bit inevitable, but I do think the storyline's been quite good between them. Over the long periods, over the Liv's injury, over Rhea's injury, from the breakup of their tag team all the way up to this point, and we're going to get a big blow-off feud. Also, if you're going to implode the Judgment Day, just completely implode it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, kind of hard. There was a funny thing of JD McDonough ripping apart his shirt, and it was on like Instagram. It's having to.
We've never had your name on it.
Yeah, but just the thing of like he's having to show his mind via social media. He didn't actually get time to like. Yeah, I agree. I think if you're going to break up, they could have done a much bigger angle that the whole of them broke up, and it wasn't because of. But they've been running the whole stuff with Finn being involved and Liv and him taking the card. So I don't know if Finn's helping out Dom or there's a three.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where Finn and Dom land.
If there's like a love triangle thing with them, or I don't know. Yeah. I mean, but Finn versus Dom, I can see being an interesting match.
And this was the first of the night's 3 finishes. Yeah. I think this we'll get onto this, but I think the whole card as a whole was like overbooked. Like, I think if you had one or two of the screwy finishes, that's fine. But having all of these screwy finishes, having interference in a lot of different matches, just kind of it turned it into a bit of a Vince Russo night for me.
Yeah,
it was about the angles and not the matches. You know what I mean?
But it's more of it felt more like a big Raw than a pay-per-view to me.
Yeah.
There's more story involved than actual wrestling.
I think I tweeted that from our account. That it felt like a big episode of Raw. Like, because I mean, this match was fairly okay, but you always knew it was going to end in some type of screwy finish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was relatively happy with the finish, but
I think as you said, it's kind of we saw it coming a bit. The whole he's eventually going to turn, and it's. But I don't know if that's going to be Rhea going to go with Damian Priest and have a little thing with them, or I don't know.
Well, they could do, if they want to keep Priest and Finn apart for a bit, they could do a mixed tag between Priest and Rhea and Dom and Liv. Do you know what I mean? But
yeah, because
I don't see.
Well, Priest was kind of the dad of the group, wasn't he? And then Rhea was the mammy, obviously. So it just sounds weird in an English accent. It doesn't work.
It sounds weird in an American accent. It only really works in Mexican Spanish. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So it was a interesting opener. I think everyone knew that Liv was going to win and Dom was going to be involved, and so. But executed well, and the whole. I don't know if her shoulder, popping her shoulder back in was, a bit too on the nose. I think.
Probably a bit too on the nose, but it worked. You've got to see Liv as a threat to Rhea. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, and it wouldn't have made sense. She's only had like 3 defenses or something, so if she lost it straight away as soon as Rhea came back, it'd be like, okay, well, that was pointless. So at least they're making something of.
I think they do want to put the title back on Rhea, but they don't want it to be so obvious that they're going to do it straight away. I mean, she's just gone into like Call of Duty along with
Rey Mysterio
and Cody Rhodes. So, like, she's obviously the person that WWE thinks the most of. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So the next match was Bron Breakker defeated Sami Zayn.
It's 5 minutes and 40 seconds. It was just a standard squash match. I think it was always going to be that. I think they wanted to. I think Sami was always going to be a transitional champion for the IC title.
Yeah, there's 2 ways about it though. There is a bit of he's just transitional, but then I think they are trying to make new stars, and at least they are bringing in Braun as an Intercontinental, which is a mid-range title, and trying to bring him up a bit and make him look like a threat. And he's been doing a good job, to be fair. He knows what he's doing, so. But
he's wrestling from a wrestling family, isn't he?
Yeah, well, Rick Steiner's son, obviously, and they were up in the stands. Apparently, they were up. There's footage of them.
I saw clips of him doing it.
Yeah.
He was champion longer than I thought he was. He was champion for 118 days. Recognised, it says here. So he was champion for longer than I thought he was. But still, he was never going to have the run that Gunther had.
No.
Still feels weird calling him Gunther. It's just a pretty standard squash match. Like, the less said about it, the better, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think it was ever going to last very long.
But no, I think again it was predictable. I don't think Sami beating him again, because he'd already been beaten a few times by Sami. Like, so to have him be, I couldn't see Braun being squashed again on a major pay-per-view for a title, because it would just completely stop his, momentum going forward. So yeah, I thought he was going to get it, but I'm impressed with. He's also probably got one of the best spears in the company at the moment. Braun, I'd say.
Well, yeah, like he runs a 450 40-yard dash. Do you know what I mean? He is unbelievably athletic.
It's when he makes the ring actually move with his back and forth. It's crazy.
Oh, he's it's not the top speed. It's the power,
the intensity,
running. It's so ridiculous. He's so ridiculous.
But he hits the spear like Goldberg. You know, he actually lifts you off and slams you down rather than just kind of.
Yeah, he's actually kind of tackling.
He doesn't clothesline your stomach as most people do.
Yeah. He is actually tackling you.
Yeah, it's a proper tackle. Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me. Have you heard the thing that Rhino said? No one ever kicked out of the gore.
Yeah.
And then said, if they kicked out, it was a spear. It wasn't a gore.
The DDP, the DDP story about when he accidentally gave Goldberg a concussion. It was quite funny. Goldberg was wrestling, Paul White was wrestling Big Show on all the house shows, and to spear the Big Show, he actually had to go through him and try and cut him in half. But when he went to spear DDP, he said he didn't even feel me. I went down before he even hit me, and he rammed his head into the canvas. But yeah,
it's not like Goldberg to make a mistake.
No, no, never. Let's not talk about that. Let's talk about that. But yeah, it was a pretty standard match. Like it was a pretty standard squash match. So I predicted that they were going to put the title on Braun pretty quickly. They really like him.
Yeah.
Like it wouldn't surprise me if within a year, like the next SummerSlam, he's trying to go for one of the big titles.
Yeah, wouldn't surprise me. It just makes you think what they're going to do with Sammy next, because Sammy makes gold out of shit. You know?
Everyone.
He's brilliant. So, you know.
I think he's probably due for some time off, Sammy.
I'd hope so. And I feel that's what they're doing now with the Paul Levesque era. They seem to actually be giving people time off and recovering, and then I think it's good, because you don't want to have too many people all the same time. You get that X-Pac heat where everyone's just there every week. Change it up a bit, you know, and then you're excited when people come back.
I agree.
Yeah.
But they give it the whole, like, there's no off season in WWE, and that's why people get hurt, and that's why people have to retire early, and that's why people's bodies are broken. Like, you'd get more special things out of these wrestlers if they only work 9 months a year. Do you know what I mean?
Keep them off a couple of months, and then they can recover, and then when they come back, there's a big pop, and the crowd's excited to see them again, you know, and I just think that's the way forward. Speaking of title changes, yet another one next with LA Knight, Logan Paul, with Machine Gun Kelly.
Another, to me, another screwy finish. Like, I know that the nonsense didn't actually end the match, and LA Knight goes on to win and that, but I just, every time Logan Paul gets in the ring, I'm more and more impressed by him. Like,
he's annoying, isn't he? He's a prick outside the ring, but you can't deny his talent in the ring.
To me, when people get it, and it's all that people like, same with is it Stephen Mel, the Arrow fella, because he gets it, he understands it. That's what makes good celebrity professional wrestlers. And Logan Paul is now just a wrestler. It wouldn't surprise me if, I think he's probably dropped the belt to go and, I think he's about to have a kid or something like that. So I think that's why he's dropped the belt at the moment. But it wouldn't surprise me to see him back, maybe trying to go for the IC title, maybe trying to go for a tag team title with someone, get someone else on his side. But when he's doing springboard moonsaults, like. And he's only like.
But it's like reverse springboard as well. It's springboard to turn around to. It's
It's just like we've both been in wrestling rings. We both run ropes. Like, springboarding stuff is one of the hardest things to do. Do you know what I mean? It is like, I can't explain how difficult it is just to get your legs that high. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's like a 5-foot vertical leap. I mean, you've got the ring ropes to help you, but still,
you've got the ring ropes to help you and all that kind of stuff. But he's
to get the balance.
Still, it just, and he's obviously a natural athlete. Do you know what I mean? But to do that kind of thing and to do things that he's been doing, like his frog splash is really good. Like his
all his moves are really good. I don't get how he's picked it up so quickly. I mean, I know he's athletic, but he just, as you say, he gets the business and he gets how to sell and he knows how to, react.
I'm pretty sure he was a high school wrestler as well.
Oh, did he do actual?
I'm pretty sure he met wrestling in high school. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose it gives you a bit of a base to learn from, doesn't it?
I enjoyed this. I like LA Knight. I do. I'm never crazy about his actual wrestling.
No.
Like, I just want to hear him cut promos and then go away. But it's
I just want him to go away personally. But.
Yeah. Oh, you're not a fan?
No, I don't get it. I kind of go into the whole thing of I just see too much of Stone Cold and The Rock in him, and it's kind of like a bad cat. You know, when you go see karaoke and someone's trying to do Robbie Williams and they can't, it's just like, I don't like Robbie Williams and I don't like you trying to copy them.
I think that might just be you being a bit long in the tooth, mate.
Maybe.
If I'm honest. I don't. He's not as good a wrestler as Steve Austin, and he's not as good as on the mic as The Rock.
But I think
he is good at both of them.
That is a good level for him as a US title. And what I was wanting him to do is hopefully come out and start doing when Cena started doing the weekly challenge, open challenge thing. Do something like that.
That should be a part of one of the titles. That should be a stipulation for one of the two.
You have to defend it every week.
You have, the open challenge. You have to defend it every week. It gets you over, it gets other people over, and all that kind of trying to get other people over and defeat. It should just be a stipulation of the US title or the IC title. I'm pretty happy with it changing hands. I'm pretty happy they put a title in LA Knight. They needed to.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Totally.
You can't chat off like that and then not back it up time after time. No. It just kind of makes you look weak, So, but yeah, as you say, Logan Paul, I'm sure will come back at some point for another, possibly Intercontinental or possibly on Raw instead of SmackDown. Change it up a bit,
Yeah.
So
but he will be back. He's a draw for them. Do you know what I mean?
I think he signed up like a year contract or something, didn't he, recently? So I think that's probably still in effect. I'd like to see him do some Raw matches or weekly TV matches if you're gonna go further into that rabbit hole rather than just being the special appearance. But kind of get a bit more road experience. But that's again a bit of a screw finish with the knuckles, but didn't make the finish happen because he didn't get all of it because you
just got all this booked out stuff with Machine Gun Kelly and all that kind of stuff, and it just it felt more about the angle than it did about the match points again in this one. But I think I made the right choice.
Yep. So next up we have Nia Jax versus Bayley for the Women's Championship.
My controversial opinion of the night, I think this might be Nia Jax's best ever wrestling performance.
She's getting better, isn't she?
If you've been doing it too long, could be getting better.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But
I don't think she nearly murdered her opponent tonight. On Saturday.
Yeah.
I think that's.
Oh, we're going back to Logan Paul. Sorry, I forgot to say that LA Knight nearly murdered him with a top rope brain bust. That was insane.
Yeah.
But it was actually quite safe when you watch it back. But it looked horrendous the first time around.
It did look horrendous the first time around, and I think it was Logan's fault. But Logan's not trying to sandbag him on that. But people have been complaining about Logan trying to sandbag him on that.
Oh no, it's nothing to do with him. It was
on that move, and why would he try and sandbag and break his own neck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's absolutely ridiculous. It's an absolutely ridiculous statement.
Yeah, but as you say, going back to Nia, she didn't seem to make anything, and even the finisher, the kind of the Yokozuna squash. I can't remember the name of it.
Bonzo drop.
Yeah,
the
Bonzo drop.
But
What do they call it for her?
The Eradicator or the Annihilator? The Annihilator.
Annihilator. That's it. But even that, she landed quite soft.
I've literally just Yeah. She's actually landing on her feet and then sitting down.
Yeah.
Like, what she's meant to do. Like,
yeah.
Brett always said Yoko would be sitting on you and you wouldn't be able to feel him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, no. I quite like the 2 power bombs as well.
Yeah, no, that's really good.
I thought they were quite good power bombs.
Well, the second one was a proper jackknife, wasn't it? It was the proper flip up, let go, bang, and that looked great. Like,
she proper let go of him.
Use a jackknife. She's got the height and the strength to do it. Use a jackknife power bomb as your finisher.
Yeah, but if he does that jackknife and then drags him into the corner and then does the Annihilator, that's a good finish.
It's a double barrel.
That should be finished. Yeah, it should be finishing everybody. I thought we were going to get another screwy finish here with Tiffy coming down.
It kind of was, wasn't it? It was a kind of distraction that she came down that Bailey then was like, oh, and then that allowed the distraction.
But then Bailey got the next move off, didn't she? She went for a pinfall, I think, immediately after that. So it wasn't totally. She was distracted and then lost the match. It was like it made Nia look strong, but Bailey did kick out the first Annihilator. Do you know what I mean? She did look strong in that. And
I'd say
that was one of the best elbow drops Bailey's ever done as well, because she usually just falls.
Yeah, as a proper sort of macho man.
It was like that looked much better than.
But maybe because Nia's someone you can deliver a proper elbow drop to, and you're not, afraid of popping something.
Yeah.
Like certain other wrestlers, you might, because what was it? Awesome Kong used to call their finisher the implant buster for a reason,
Yeah.
But no, it was a surprisingly good match. Yeah.
I'm never going to rewatch it, but I was pleasantly surprised that it was okay.
Yeah, because the thing is, I love Bailey, but I feel she's.
I know you do, you weirdo.
Yeah, but this run's just not been good for a title. It's not felt special in any way. The crowd's not hot for her. She's not really she's doing all the same things.
She can't come to the UK every week. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But as you say, probably one of Nia Jax's best matches, and it'll be interesting to see what they go with her as champion, and Tiffy with the brand new Money in the Bank, which I knew was coming. Obviously, after they smashed the other one, it was. I like they make it like. That's what they need to do all the time now. Just once they win Money in the Bank, the next week they come out with a special. Their style, yeah.
I knew like she wasn't going to cash in because I've only just given her a briefcase. Do you know what I mean? They want to sell a few more before they let her cash in. Do you know what I mean? So
nice.
Anyway,
it's
enough about Nia Jax and Bailey.
Yeah. Well, now to there's 3 headliners in a way, which I mean, kind of weird because usually the past few pay-per-views have been 5 matches, so this would have been the headliner in a regular pay-per-view. But obviously, SummerSlam, you got to big it up a bit.
I think it's 2 nights. Actually.
Which is
SummerSlam. I think SummerSlam's 2 nights next year.
Oh, next year? Yeah. No, they made it 2 nights next year. Yeah. Which makes sense.
2 nights next year. So they do want this card. They do still want it to be like one of their major events. You know what I mean?
And I think five is a perfect amount for the past couple of PLEs.
Really,
it works. You give time for the matches, and that's one thing with this. I find some of the matches went a bit short because they didn't have the time that they've given. Although, literally you look at the shows, about half of the shows are like adverts and we're playing here and packages and this, that, the other. There is a lot of filler in these shows.
And that random Manscaped advert for Motors.
Again, this is why it felt like a Raw. That feels like something that would happen on Raw. And it's in the middle of a premium live event. But anyway, so the first of our kind of 3 headliners, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, with Seth Rollins as special guest referee. Amazing special guest referee outfit, I must say.
He's ridiculous. He's so flamboyant. I love it.
Yeah.
Because he was never that as Tyler Black. Do you know what I mean? Like this flamboyant and learn. I still think he's a better wrestler now than he ever was in ROH, and this ability to play up the crowd. He's so like I was never the fan. You know I weren't. I was never a big fan of him in his early days in WWE and his early title run. He was a creator. I always called him a creator wrestler because he just did all the moves. There was no rhyme or reason for the move. He just did all the moves. But now he is. I think even the knee injury might have helped him because he slowed down a little bit, and I think that just made him think about his matches anymore. But he was one of the better things about this match because he helped get the crowd reactions when they started shouting "We want tables." He started doing his song thing, and that just sort of killed the chant. If you notice, it kind of killed the chant, because everything was just because if you start screaming "We want tables" when the crowd starts doing that type of thing, like.
Especially when it's not technically... I mean, I know he let a lot go, but it's not technically a hardcore match. And table might be going a bit too far for a technical singles match. But no, I thought he did a great job. And I just love the kind of anti-love triangle they've got going where they just all hate the crap out of each other. And... like the bit where Punk was slamming Drew's head against the steps and he was just laughing, going, "Yeah, do it again. And he's like, "Well, you're looking." And he's like, "Okay, I'll tie my shoe. And then stuff like that.
I thought some of the spots were a little bit sloppy, and maybe it's just because it's CM Punk's first match back. I thought some of the...
He looked blown out from about 2 minutes in. He looked absolutely...
He looked like he blew up.
Knackered.
He did look like he blew up.
But again, you got to get the in-ring cardio, don't you?
Yeah. But I think he didn't look out of shape at all. Like, do you know what I mean? He looks incredible. But
I am not one to say people look out of shape, but just I can tell he looked tired quite quick.
But I don't know what the weather was like in Cleveland on Saturday. Like, do you know what I mean?
Apparently, it was hugely humid. It was really humid. Yeah. So I can get that.
It wouldn't surprise me. Well, I went to see an ROH match once in a place in Crystal Palace, an Irish event in the place in Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
And it was inside, where there's an indoor Olympic swimming pool. It's one of the only places in London. And so there was the rest of the event, and it was like 37 degrees inside. And you've got Will Ospreay and the Young Bucks on the card, and they all blew up after about 2 minutes just because of how hot it was.
Yeah, just
because of the humidity. Like all the matches were really, really slow that day. Do you know what I mean? And it wouldn't surprise me if he's come out to the humidity and just gone,
hit him,
that's a bit tough. Yeah. But on the whole, I really enjoyed it. I just thought it was in places it was a little bit sloppy, and again with the screw finishes, and again with the storyline over the match. And I know they want this is going to end up in a triple threat somewhere. You know what I mean? So I know they're trying to prolong the storyline and all that kind of stuff. I just felt like it might have been executed a bit better. This whole thing about fighting over a bracelet felt a little bit Claire's Accessories. You know what I mean?
Sponsored by Claire's Accessories.
Yeah. Like it could have been in the ring.
I think the fact that Punk's downfall was keeping to want to get the bracelet and then kind of snapping on Seth that he was wearing it. It's like he's literally picked it out the ring so it's safe. It's what a referee would normally do, That's what a normal ref would do. Where they probably put it in their pocket, but like that's how I saw it. I didn't see it as Seth trying to aggravate him.
That's how I saw it as well, but I would quite like to see CM Punk spiral a little bit from this. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of carry on down this almost...
I find he works better as a heel, so if he just kind of proper loses it, and because they're building Drew as the heel, but... Sorry?
So like Batman in Batman vs Superman. Why did you say that name? Why are you wearing my bracelet? That type of thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, just watch CM Punk spiral a little bit.
Yeah.
And become a little bit unhinged, a little bit deranged, trying to actually hurt Seth and Drew. Do you know what I mean?
What they need to do is get Drew to kill Larry and then feed it to him. That's what... if we're going old school. Who was that? Al Snow and Bossman, was it?
Yeah.
Fufu or whatever.
Okay. Very old school.
Well, speaking of old school, they nearly did the SummerSlam '97 screw at the end with remember, because it was Shawn and Brett and Undertaker, and
Shawn was the
nearly hit him with the chair in the corner, and obviously Punk was wearing his Brett trunks, his Brett colours.
Oh yeah.
So I think that was a little homage to SummerSlam '97. Cool.
I think it was supposed to be. Like, I even think what's his name mentioned it on commentary. Who's the one that I don't like? Not McAfee, not Carl, the other one.
Oh, do you not like him? I like him. Corey Graves.
I think he turns up with a bunch of written lines and just tries to. He kind of shoehorns them in. And sometimes I like the references. Sometimes I think the references are really jarring. So.
Saying that, I think he's done a really good job on. He's been pushed into the play-by-play on SmackDown, which I thought he wouldn't be good at. But when he's with Wade Barrett, he's doing a great job. I think they've got a great little chemistry going.
I'll tell you the reason why is because he knows the names of all the moves.
Yeah,
he's good at naming. Like there's. Oh, I haven't seen that in a long time. What's that called again? Then he'll just say the name of the move, and it's like, oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't annoy me sometimes with Cole, and it's just like he'll call something completely wrong. Like that's not what that is.
Like there was a dragon suplex. It was a tiger suplex in this match, and he just went. Oh, I hit him with a suplex because he'd completely forgotten the name of it.
Yeah, it was just like a couple of weeks ago. There's like dragon screw, and just like really obscure. Like moves like that, and he knows. Obviously, he's good in his time, but he knows it all. So I think he works better as a play-by-play with someone to play off of. So
and I think I like Wade. I've always liked Wade. I think Wade's got a great personality. I've met Wade later times, and he is always like he genuinely loves wrestling. Like he's one of those ones that is.
I think he's found his place. Like I liked him as a wrestler, but I think he's doing a great job on commentary. And
he just had he was a great wrestler. He just had a terrible finish, and but yeah, no, I enjoyed this match. I just thought it was mildly messy, and again, it was storyline over.
And the positives are Punk didn't break anything in this one, so we're all good.
Yeah.
So we've not got another return in 3 months.
No.
So maybe he'll be able to have 1 or 2 more matches before he gets injured again. So yeah, next up was Gunther versus Damian Priest for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Like we've obviously been watching Walter for years. Like I saw Walter and Thatcher versus Aussie Open in the cockpit in front of about 150 people. So we've been watching Walter for years. I've always thought he was a bit overrated. He's booked like Andre the Giant, and he only wrestles the best people in the world. So of course he looks brilliant. But you've got to be rated to be overrated, right? This match was building to be brilliant. Like if this match had gone 25 minutes and it wouldn't have had any Judgment Day nonsense, this could have been match of the year. It was just really starting to build into a really, really, really good match. And then they did the same angle over match thing that they'd done all night. But I really, really thought this was going to be this could have been brilliant, and I really want to see them wrestle again in a pay-per-view and give it a bit more time and let them have a normal, let them sort out a finish between themselves.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing with I agree because I wasn't thinking much because it was Damian Priest and stuff, and he's been okay but not amazing matches. And I think that's the thing they've found someone to play with, if you know what I mean. Like, did you watch SmackDown before where they, for the second week, they had Andrade and Carmelo again?
Yeah.
And it's just because they just gel perfectly and they found their dance partner. And I find Andrade needs someone to play with. He can't wrestle a broom, He needs that person to bounce off of.
Andrade is a top 5 wrestler in the world. You know how much I love Andrade. Like, I just think he's absolutely unbelievable. Like, he's still him and Johnny Wrestling's match. Is one of the best matches. He's one of the best matches I've ever seen. Like, but I think Priest is a good wrestler, and I like his stuff. I like his spots. I like how athletic he is. I like his 2 finishes. I like the fact that he uses the Razor's Edge, and I like the fact that he's got that South of Heaven as well.
I can see that the sit out from it stopping after he realizes the damage he's doing to his spine, but I don't think he needs the sit out. I think he can just do a choke slam. I don't think the sit out.
I think if he lands more on his side as opposed to his arse.
Yeah, kind of like a side effect sort of thing.
Yeah. I think that he does do that sometimes, but I just felt like this was going to be an excellent match, and you could have done the match and then still had Finn turn on Damien at the end. He could have done it after the match. He didn't need to do it during the match. And this could have, but maybe they didn't want to overshadow what was happening in the last match. And I hate it when things are booked like that. Let people have their matches.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Don't try to make something else the biggest thing of the night. Like, because obviously in the Return of Roman, I'm not spoiling anything for anyone who's watching this.
Yeah.
But that was never going to be overshadowed by anything. Do you know what I mean? Like, so what is like let Gunther and Priest have their matches, and this was going to be really good. I feel like this was going to be excellent. Yeah, starting to,
as you say, if it went 25 and you just had a clean win for Gunther, I don't think it would have taken anything off Priest. Priest has held the title. He's had multiple defenses. Gunther's on his,
Who looks weak losing to Gunther? Who looks weak losing to Gunther? Do you know what I mean? Like
but having a 25 minute match with him and standing up to him and kicking out a few times, that makes you look strong, So,
and the finish was okay. I mean, I don't really like sleeper finishes, but the finish was okay. I think Gunther's got better finishes, and I think they should have possibly used one of those.
Would you think it was more kind of, he passed out rather than tapped out, or make him look strong, sort of thing? Yeah. It was. I
won't submit, but I just think it's such an old hat move that I think it's great for an angle. Like, I'm just going to choke the hell out of this person, but for a finish of a championship match, maybe it doesn't. I feel like, as I say, Gunther's got better finishes in him. Like, he's got his splash, he's got his power bomb, he's got his mad kick and his mad chops. You know what I mean? Like, always getting over on someone else's chest. Old water. But yeah, no, I like, this was probably my favourite match of the night, and I just feel like we were robbed a little bit of it at the end.
No, it was really good for both of them, and as you say, could have gone longer. But I think that was just because they didn't have as much time as they usually have had. So I think this is why this one has been. Yeah. This one was booked, and because it was SummerSlam, people would have not liked it just being 5 matches. But I think that's why next year they made it 2 days, because Triple H has gone, actually, I want 5. 5 is enough, and it gives everyone time.
Yeah, I mean, it was in a stadium as well. Like, you can't rent a stadium for a night and
just do 3 hours
and have just do like.
But we had the Jelly Roll performance. That was fun.
Yeah.
So our final match of the night was Cody Rhodes versus Solo Sikoa. Bloodline rules match. Half an hour match.
I dislike this immensely.
Yeah, there's lots of things I didn't like. Roman's back too soon, for one, is my opinion.
Yeah, I would have kept my TV for a year. There's been a lot of comparisons drawn between him and Sting, right? Sting and the NWO.
Okay.
And Sting didn't wrestle for a year. And Sting was more important not wrestling than he ever was wrestling.
He became that aura that was just constant, was watching and was there, and like, you were always worried that he'd turn up, even though he didn't actually do anything. He'd just come out with a baseball bat and everyone would run. But just watch him from the rafters, You
could do that with Roman. You could just have Heyman turning up with a phone, immaculately, like everything's been sorted out. Like, and he's just sitting in executive boxes on the phone all the time. And
in the background of promos and stuff, just show him around. Promos,
just on the phone, always on the phone. Like, you could just have him there, so you've got Roman's presence there, and then I don't know, at War Games, Survivor Series at War Games, when inevitably the Bloodline are going to be in War Games, then Roman shows up and just sits in the executive box and watches the Bloodline absolutely annihilate whoever they're going against, and just shake his head, say something like, "I understand the threat," and walk out. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you could have his presence there without him having to get physical, and you could really, really build this version of Solo Sikoa in the Bloodline. I don't think this match should have ever entered the ring.
Yeah,
I think
the whole
should have done that walk.
The whole point of Solo becoming the head of the Bloodline was that Roman lost, and that was the big, he shouldn't be in charge, and now he's lost. So how can he see himself as the leader of the Bloodline?
We've got to wait till Friday to see how they're going to book their way out of this. But I think they sort of booked themselves into a corner by putting Solo in a match with Cody so early. Genuinely, what I would have done is let Gunther and Damian Priest go longer, and on that long walk to the ring, Cody gets jumped by the other members of the Bloodline.
I honestly thought that was going to happen. I honestly thought when he was walking down, I thought they were just going to come out and beat him before the match even started.
And drag him into the ring and have Solo say something like, "You think this is about this title? This is about you embarrassing my family. I can take this title when I want to." And having quote, and the thing that I thought is having quote Marv from Sin City, have him say, "The hell you've been through is going to feel like heaven to what I'm going to put you through." Do you know what I mean? Like, have Solo just absolutely beat him down, and
then you could have had the KO and Randy Orton run-outs, and then them get knocked down again. The numbers,
and then the numbers of the Bloodline, and then maybe Jacob doesn't hurt himself, because I think he has hurt himself.
I've seen him. There's pictures with him with a boot on, so hopefully it's not too bad. Yeah.
I hope if it's a boot, it's not too bad. They're gonna probably wait for the swelling to go down and then do an MRI. But I really, really wanted this version of the Bloodline to be a threat, and they no longer feel like a threat.
No.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
that. It's the way when Roman came back, he just obliterated Solo. Like, just it was like, it was done. You've killed Solo. Roman's back, but no kind of. I was really wishing they build it to a kind of, instead of having Roman come back, maybe Jay ran out, you know? And tried to help, but then the numbers game again, and then you could have had a Jimmy return of like, no, that's my brother, like, I can't have him be, and basically just having the new Bloodline taking down Jay and just constantly wailing on him, and then Jimmy finally comes out. And then later on, you could then build that they're back together. They do a tag team, the Usos with Cody trying to take on the Bloodline, this, that, the other. And then you can finally, one event, have it that there's one more, you know, maybe War Games or whatever. You have the Usos, Cody, and then you just have, they need one more member. And then you just literally, it gets the three out. And then you just have Heyman come out going, "Ladies and gentlemen." And then he brings out Roman, and you've got the OG Bloodline facing and build to that, you know, instead of this kind of throwing Roman in there, do a punch, do a spear, walk out. It just seemed wasted.
I don't think Roman's going to be back in. I don't think Roman's ever going to be back in full-time employment. Do you know what I mean? He's never going to have a full-time schedule again. I don't think.
He's going to be a special event, sort of.
He's going to be a special event. I know he's relatively young for a wrestler to start doing, to start being a part timer. But yeah, he is only 39. Like,
but I think he's starting to want to go into other ventures. You know, realizing that
it's not. It's not even about going into other ventures. I'm not sure. Like, who knows what effect his 2 bouts of leukemia have had on his body? Can he be a full-time employee anymore? Do you know what I mean? a full-time wrestler anymore. I don't think he wants to. I don't think he needs to be. But I do think they should have just kept him off.
Yeah.
Kept him off TV for the full year. Just kept him off, or kept him getting physical.
Or at least
for the
had
full
it
year.
till they could build to a Mania, sort of, you know.
Oh, could you imagine if you have the Mania next year and you get to a point where Solo finally takes the belt off of... This is the thing, I just don't think they think Solo's a star. Like, I just don't... I think that's all it is.
He was great. Ironically, I think it's true what happened, because he was great as the enforcer. And then now Jacob's come in as his... And they... I heard a report somewhere that they were worried about bringing Jacob in because they feel he would overshadow Solo, which has 100% happened.
It happened, yeah.
That Jacob is a monster that, you know, just... I feel that's what has happened, and Solo has now lost. He's lost any kind of aura he'd built up, which wasn't that much anyway. And, how are they going to play this out as him being leader of the bloodline still? They've demolished the new bloodline. And
exactly.
Now Roman's not going to be back on Friday, is he? He's not going to be back wrestling a match Friday night. He's not going to be around for another month or so. So I don't get where they were trying to go with this. I mean, maybe I'm all wrong and something happens on SmackDown that's amazing and it makes 100% sense. But
are they going to bring in? Is there plans to bring in another?
The other Uso.
Yeah, no, another. Like Tamatonga's, like another.
Oh, well, no, I think they're bringing in both another Tonga and another Fatu. There's two. There's another Fatu who's apparently coming.
There's Lance Anoa'i, isn't there? So, but he's like a kid on like Lance. I think, There's Lance Anoa'i.
There are a couple, but I mean, where's it going to end? Because there's thousands of them. But the match I've completely forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Also, one thing is why Cody's finisher is now belittled, because it seems every time to actually defeat someone, he needs to use it 3 times.
Yeah,
which doesn't make sense. I get it as the finale of finally beating the tribal chief, but for Solo having to hit it 3 times, it's just like, doesn't make sense. And it goes back to WrestleMania. I loved when Roman used it against Cody and Cody kicked out and he just came out going, that's a terrible move, that's a crap move. Like, why did I use that? It's crap. Like, so having to always do this kind of super finisher, using it 3 times just to get the win on Solo.
Yeah, but this is just that's just modern wrestling. Your finish is not your finish anymore, do you know what I mean? Like, it's just...
Which is sad.
Not...
Yeah, because there's nothing to say that you can't have your, signature moves. What they need to do is have signature moves finish matches.
Yeah. That, like...
So then when a special move comes out, it is special, and you don't always see it every match.
This is the thing about Corbin. He's got one of the best signature moves in the game. He's got one of the best finishes in the game. And his signature move finished matches, and no one kicked out of his finish for years. Like, no one ever kicked out the Razor's Edge. One person ever kicked out of the 3D. Do you know what I mean? That was right at the end of... Well, without interference. Do you know what I mean? Actually, 1-2 kicked out. I wish they'd protect finishes a bit more, because it makes...
There's one thing with Walter I liked they were doing with the whole... He was finishing matches with multiple moves. You didn't see... He didn't kind of have a finisher for his Intercontinental run. He was just beating you.
This is what I mean.
Powerbomb you.
About him. This is exactly what I said. Like, he's got so many finishes in him that he just is always a threat to finish matches. Like, he's finished a match with this before. He's finished a match with that before. Like, he's booted someone in the face and finished a match before. Do you know what I mean? Like, the finish that I really like at the moment is the Russian fellas. We've seen him wrestle loads of times.
Oh, Ilya Dragunov, yeah.
Dragunov, yeah. I like the H-bomb because he's moved away from that silly headbutt.
It's horrible, isn't it? It's horrible in a great way. It's just that.
Yeah. It looks like it really hurt.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually killed him.
And any finish that is put over strong will look strong. You can make any finish look strong.
Well, it's the old Heyman thing. We said, if you bring in a guy in with a sleeper hold and you just make it look devastating, and they did that with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe came in and started using a sleeper, and they made it this devastating thing that you would.
Well, like they call it the pain effect, like it just makes it.
Yeah.
But I would like to see. I mean, I think the Crossroads looks cool. Like,
it's a great move. When the recipient reacts properly to it. Like, do you see the security guard on Raw on SmackDown a few weeks ago? It's just amazing. And there's a great one against Seth Rollins where he proper span and landed it. It ended it in the sort of cutter. It looked amazing. But
I like, because he licked the Oz cutter, didn't he? So, and I don't think he does it particularly well. It
looks a bit too set up because the other person has to proper guess where he's coming at and then jump into it, and it just it looks a bit like in the game where someone like jolts into position when you press the finisher button.
Yeah,
it looks a bit like that.
He doesn't quite have that. He doesn't quite have that Will Ospreay sort of floaty athleticism. Like, do you know how when Will Ospreay bounces off the rope, he looks like he's floating.
Yeah.
He doesn't quite have that floaty athleticism, but do you know what it looks like? It looks a little bit like Cena's, like.
I was going to say that he wasn't finishing matches. I love that was Stone Cold's reaction to it. It's like, well, he's not winning matches with it, so I don't like it.
Yeah.
And then as soon as Owens was winning matches with his stun, he was like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
He's keeping the move strong.
But this is the whole point. Like, you didn't. The occasional. I like the occasional double stunner, like the one on Scott Hall, the ones on the Rock, all that kind of. The double stunners were great fun, but they finished matches and they didn't always come out. Like, with Cody, it just feels like the Crossroads is like the way you can keep hold of them, like do the Mark Henry spot by keeping hold of them. You know what I mean? The roll through Mark Henry spot, and it just doesn't. I don't know. I just think it's quite a flamboyant looking move. I think it looks cool, and it's just weak as piss now. But then the AA was weak as piss as well, weren't it? So Cena had a decades long run with that. So like everyone could get
fireman carry slam,
yeah.
It's a transitional move more than anything, but you know. I always loved the STFU.
To call it. No, the FTS. He didn't wrench anything.
No, I know. But
he looks like he just lay on them. Like lock it in, Cena. Lock it in, bro.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, no.
Better than his. What was the thing he came up with? For like a year.
The karate chop thing.
Yeah. Like, I kind of like that, just because it's just so dumb.
What do we? Shit. Yeah.
You're gonna take the chi and bang. Like if he actually hit them, but he just kind of tapped them. It was weird, but yeah.
It just
Well, he's coming back for his.
I'm quite looking forward to his run.
Sorry.
I'm quite looking forward to his run.
Yeah, no, it's going to be good.
What they should do is just every PLE between now and his retirement, just put him in again in the ring against AJ. I can watch that 15 times.
I'm very much hoping we see AJ back for a finale for. I was even thinking Mania and have that as imagine having like a double farewell. You know.
Yeah.
It's like whoever wins, we're both gone because.
Yeah.
But that'd be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun.
It would be. Well done.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was disappointed in the match. See, we're talking about something else. That's how disappointing the match was.
No, we're talking about Cena. We're talking about a good match. Cena and AJ, rather.
Yeah.
It was just forgettable.
Sometimes was brilliant.
It was forgettable.
It was a really forgettable match. I was like, what angle are they going to? The thing is, we've got to see what happens Friday. They might have booked this perfectly, and we don't know it yet. Then, hindsight will be 20/20 in this. But yeah, I was disappointed by the screwy finishes in the last three matches. But I do think Finn versus Damien Priest would be really good.
Yeah, no, that'll be cool.
And whether it's going to be CM Punk versus Seth next, or CM Punk versus Drew, or Seth versus Drew next, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, no, with the Finn and Dom and all that, I do wonder if we're going to get a kind of NWO style branch in the do you know what I mean? Have kind of two versions of the name's gone out of my head.
Well, Finn will. Judgment Day.
Judgment Day, yeah.
I don't think it'll be that. I think it will just be they'll have a couple of blow off matches, and that'll be it. Like,
well, it had quite a good run, considering it started off by Edge before he left for his singles run, and then AEW. It's supposed to be his thing, isn't it? But
well, he's out for a good couple of months, isn't he? Because he broke his leg.
Yeah, that was an odd one.
Watch an old man fall off a cage.
I do love you literally can see mid-air him go, I can't land, I'm going to have to land on my legs, and that's going to be bad. It's kind of like he takes about 8 minutes before you can literally see in mid-air go, oh, nope, okay, nope, bang.
You know that meme of, hi, I bet you're wondering how I got in this position.
Yeah.
That freeze frame. I bet you're wondering how I got in this position. That is Edge about halfway down as he looks and goes, oh, I've misjudged this. I used to be able to jump that far. I can't jump that far anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
anyway.
You just, on the whole, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was fun. I didn't like the last match. I didn't like all the screw finishes. But I can't say I went attained. You know what I mean? So that's maybe the point of it. So try not to be negative.
What would you give it out of 10?
7.5.
I was going to say 7. So yeah, 7. Yeah, 7 and a quarter.
Oh, do you know what? Before we came on to do this, I actually thought about a rating. So I knew you were going to ask me. I thought 8, but talking it through, it made me lower it a bit. Like, because I really didn't enjoy the last match at all, and I just feel like there's so much more they could do with that storyline. But then again, we've got to see what they're going to do on Friday night at SmackDown and see how they.
I hope they turn it around, because I've just been enjoying it. Generally, I've got back into it, this past year, as it's been good, and this is the first time it's felt not as thought through. But as we say, we could turn around and absolutely love what they've done with it.
The mess of the Bloodline rules match at Mania was amazing.
Yeah,
because of the amount of star power.
Yeah.
Like, it was incredible. But this, trying to do the baby brother version, just didn't work. Do you know what I mean? It did feel like, you can't catch lightning in a bottle twice. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and even the announcement of it was kind of, on SmackDown, it was kind of undermined because the crowd started cheering because the Bloodline was coming out of the stands and stuff, and even Solo's line of it's Bloodline rules, no one was really listening at that point, so Cody had to say, oh, you want a Bloodline rule? It's kind of not kind of built as strongly as it could have been, I find. But should
have been a cage match, Jim.
Yeah.
Should always be a cage match.
Should have always been a cage match. It really should have been, though, shouldn't it? Especially when those tables were atrocious. But anyway, that's another pay-per-view for another time, maybe.
Yeah, but we should do that. We should review. We should go back and review that. I haven't watched it in years. We should go back and review Wembley. Pro Wrestling Wembley.
Yeah, I'm up for that.
It should have been a 24-foot ring. Should have been a cage match.
Anyway, on that note,
it's been fun. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, no, thanks for watching. If you've been watching, please like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you after the next pay-per-view, hopefully. Sorry, PLE.
PLE, yeah. What is it? Bash in Berlin.
Bash in Berlin, yeah, which looks fun, actually.
Yeah.
Gunther as champion.
Yeah.
So, yeah, see you then.
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. Bye. Yeah. Bye. Sorry.